And we all know one thing. Donald Trump is just lying about the bill.
I have a different view. I'd like to congratulate Democrats for ridding yourselves of this untalented mediocrity. I mean, this is the most self-aggrandizing liar that has ever held this job.
I think one of the most brilliant things that Republicans did was start shipping those migrants to the Chicagos and to the New York cities and to the Martha's Vineyards, because then it became a problem for those major cities.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for watching. I'm Dronetek, and as usual, I have 3 spicy media clips for you to be highly entertained by. We're going to start out with Chuck Schumer's insane rhetoric that historically has led to Democrat terrorist attacks on Republicans. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then KJP, of all people, is apparently putting out a book about disinformation, and she gets completely wrecked for it by Scott Jennings on CNN. So we're going to check that out. And then Eric Swalwell gives possibly the dumbest take of his entire career.
Well, we're waiting.
And we all know one thing. Donald Trump is just lying about the bill. Lying about the bill. Well, here's the "we are all going to die" act.
Does all this sound at all familiar to you?
You gotta be kidding me, especially after rhetoric that was very similar to this led to a Democrat Bernie supporter, he actually worked on the campaign, launching an actual domestic terrorist attack on half the GOP Congress, almost killing Steve Scalise. That guy was screaming, "This is for healthcare," while he shot at the Republican congressman. And if you look at the media at the time, they were all going after Republicans for their opposition to Obamacare. Rhetoric from people like Bernie Sanders at the time was that Republicans were going to cause everyone to die. I've pointed this out before, and if you notice, opposition to nearly any Democrat policy results in them claiming that it will lead to people dying. Even if what Chuck Schumer is saying here is true, it's a boy who cried wolf situation at this point.
I have a different view. I'd like to congratulate Democrats for ridding yourselves of this untalented mediocrity. I mean, this is the most self-aggrandizing liar that has ever held this job. The White House press secretary is a sacred position, and she stood up there for years and lied through her teeth to the American people.
My friend, she's not the first.
She is the literal worst White House press secretary in my lifetime. And what she did in the last year and a half of the Biden administration, cheap fakes, the entire cover-up around the president's mental faculties, she was in the center of it.
So you think she's doing this to launder herself?
So congratulations for getting rid of this, but Democrats deserve everything they're getting here for putting her in that job in the first place.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Yeah, let's not forget this is a person who introduced herself as an historic figure because of her sexual preference and skin color.
I'm a historic figure, and I certainly walk in history every day.
What the hell are you? You're a fucking secretary. Fuck you! Yeah, that's my message to you. Fuck you and kiss my ass.
Past press secretaries have lied, but at least they were good at it. KJP is awful, and that's part of what makes her especially repellent. She lies to you very badly, everyone sees through it, but apparently to her, she's pulling one over on all of us.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California. That is not a question that we should be even asking.
I think what people missed about the border issue was it wasn't just a matter of security. It was a matter of people felt like these individuals were coming into America and getting more resources than people who had been here for years. And I think one of the most brilliant things that Republicans did was start shipping those migrants to the Chicagos and to the New York cities and to the Martha's Vineyards, because then it became a problem for those major cities, because it's easy to say, hey, we're sanctuary cities if you're all the way up here. So if you're really sanctuary cities, then take care of them. And that's when people in those communities started complaining about, oh, how are they coming here and they're getting, room and board? How are they getting money in their pocket? But we've been here suffering all of those years. So my question is, why have Democrats lost the economy war? Because since World War II, whenever there's a Democrat in the White House, the economy does better. Why aren't y'all able to message that?
Yeah. And to your point, if you're a family in Long Island and you see folks staying at hotels that you would not be able to afford to put your family in. Yeah, I can see why that, creates resentment. And it was a cheap shot what those governors did, but I mean, they won the messaging war on that, and we're still on defense.
You really don't get it.
Okay, first off, the fact that Eric Swalwell claims that this is just a messaging war shows just how completely out of touch and crazy this guy is. Second, he claims that it was a cheap shot for Democrats to enjoy the fruits of their own policies, which is just perfect because it's such a Democrat thing to say. It's always different when Democrats do it because they always carve out an exception from their own standards for themselves. That's why it's a cheap shot to hold Democrats to their own pro-illegal immigration sanctuary city standards. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments, and if you're still here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I do post on a regular basis, both short and long form, so make sure to keep checking back for more.